finally had a chance to get my hands on the ASICS Novablast 3, give it a spin, and offer my full review. And my initial impression is this is a shoe that is worth the hype. Everything I've heard about this shoe, it is lively, it is bouncy, it is full of energy, and you can put it through its paces. I'm happy to say that it has been the case for me here. Let's just jump right into the specs. You're looking at a engineered mesh for the upper. It is a jacquard weave, and on the screen now you can see a little bit of that detail, but I gotta say it is a very breathable upper and very soft and very supple. And then a quick mention about the laces. These are some very interesting laces in that they are slightly elastic and they feel like almost like a jersey knit, like an old t-shirt, but like in a good way. So I'm pretty happy with that here. The tongue, if you can see here, has been modified from the previous iteration. Previously, it sounds like the tongue was kind of an issue with it slipping around. I did not find that to be the case here. In fact, on your screen now, you can see when I was lacing up, it almost had a little bit excessive material. But once I got running and once I got things locked down, that seemed to kind of disappear. In fact, I will say that the lockdown on the midfoot with the combination of the laces and the upper, as well as the tongue here, felt good. I saw in some cases that people were having issues with the tongue kind of slipping down inside the shoe. That was not the case for me today. The midsole material, you're looking at an FF Blast Plus midsole. It is ASICS very lively, very resilient and energetic foam. And you got 31 millimeters of FF Blast Plus in the back and then 23 millimeters in the front for an 8 millimeter drop of that FF Blast Plus foam. That is a decent amount of cushion under step to get you going. Fairly decent drop for a shoe. So you're gonna have that pitch forward effect, that pitch forward feeling. And I'll get into the ride here in a second. Coming in at 8.7 ounces for a men's size 9. This is a men's size 11 and my scale broke upstairs, so I don't actually know, but just in the hand, it does feel quite lightweight and it almost disappears underfoot as you're running as far as it feeling heavy at all. It really doesn't. It almost just kind of blends with your foot as you're going along. Here's the outsole. You're getting just the right amount of rubber here. This is the AHAR material. This is the AHAR outer material, not the AHAR Plus, which you're going to find in other models. This has been designed by ASICS to offer resiliency and longevity, durability for the long term. You're getting just the right amount of rubber. I have no issue. And one thing I want to point out especially about the geometry of this shoe is this piston or trampoline up front, as well as this decoupled groove. The geometry of the shoe as you go along your gait cycle does seem to flex and bend, and I did experience that when I was running with it, as far as it just popping off almost like a piston or a pogo stick here, just wants to bounce back, and it just feels extremely energetic and lively. It's super fun to run in. Going on to that ride, and as far as the energy return of this shoe, I gotta say, and on your screen now, I tried a few different paces. It did very well at like a medium to slow pace, but it really seemed to shine anytime I would really kick up the gears and really try to speed up in this shoe. I will say that I tend to want to do a midfoot stance or almost a forefoot as I'm running along, especially at those high speeds. But you can kind of see where the action happens here is at the front of the shoe. I would say if anything, I was landing more towards the middle and during those paces, and I just felt like it was just shooting me upward. This foam was not very compliant or elastic, but it was very resilient in that it wanted just to continue to push back. Any energy that I gave it, it wanted to push it right back. So it felt very efficient under step and not clunky or awkward. And it's like some shoes do with huge offsets, or even some of those carbon plate shoes that are out there. This just kind of melted in. And one word that that kind of stood out to me and I kept thinking about was velvety, right? Smooth, almost like icing on cake, in that it just gelled well with the task that I was requiring out of it. I will say that. So very good job, ASICS. I do want to point out this heel counter. It's actually quite rigid. but inside you can see how there is quite a decent amount of foam and padding right here to keep that heel nice and locked in. On your screen you can see how I do kind of tend to supinate or land on the outside of my foot. This shoe, I don't know if you can see it here, but you can see that there's almost like this additional shoulder of the landing platform of the shoe on both sides. And I felt very stable in the shoe, even when I did kind of focus on how I was landing. I didn't feel unstable at all. So I feel very good about the stability of the shoe. I wouldn't feel uncomfortable, in dark conditions or going around corners or, any low light or wet conditions. I feel like this would be a very stable ride. I did purposefully do some heel striking in the shoe just to kind of see how it felt. It does not feel like a very good shoe for heel striking. Like I would come down and it would just want to slap towards the front here. It just didn't feel right in this shoe. So if anything, coming down midfoot or even a little bit forefoot, it seemed to just want to do those areas of the foot, and it just seemed more efficient in those two areas of the shoe. So no issue with the fit. I went true to size, and I gotta say, for my final thoughts of the ASICS Novablast 3, I am very impressed. I feel like the shoe has done its job in terms of living up to the hype. I'm very excited to finally get a hold of the shoe and try it out. I would say if you're looking for a shoe that has plenty of cushion and feels energetic and lively and is fun to run in, especially if you're coming into running, this might be the shoe for you. Especially if you want just one shoe to kind of do several different things. I feel like you can do long runs, you can do tempo workouts, you can do just your daily runs, you can bring it to the track for some track work. As well, you can bring it to your local 5K or 10K. This just might be the new workhorse here, the ASICS Novablast 3. So there's the full review, and I'm happy to say that we finally got a hold of the shoe and gave it a test. Okay, well, that's all I got for you here today, so hopefully this finds you well. Take care, bye.